Joining me now to talk a little bit more about what Hero will be doing in the next Dakar, and also of course what unfolds from there on. It's going to be a busy year coming up for Hero MotoCorp, is the man in charge of all of that development, the CTO at the company, Markus Braunsperger. Good to see you.
My pleasure.
Always good to see you.
Great to have you here.
No, I'm happy to be here, and I'm very happy to see what's behind you as well. And of course, we've been talking about this bike now for some time. We've talked about the reason why it's here and the development, but for the sake of our viewers, let's sort of crystallize that. Where Hero is today when it comes to Dakar, the fact that you decided to go in and you are all in is now pretty obvious. How important is the next season?
The next season is, let's say, we have set the basis with our maiden season quite successfully. We have a team in place, we have the vehicle in place, the riders are in a good shape. No doubt, and we have a third rider on the starting grid. So we are upgrading. We are upgrading our capabilities. We are upgrading our foundation. In motorsports, everything is possible, but we have to be honest. It's a long term. It's a long term development. So we have a target in our focus, and we are working towards it.
When you say you have your target in focus, what is that target? In the sense, it can't just be all about, podiums and finishes. It's got to be about experience and capability.
Yes.
So help us understand that target and how soon you want to get there.
So it's good that you talk about capabilities, because usually you think about reaching the podium and then reaching the first victory.
Yeah.
No doubt, this is essentially part of racing. But for us, there's a much bigger story behind. First of all, being competitive in the World Rally racing scene means that our products and our skills and our capabilities are competitive with any company in the world. Secondly, it will help us developing our brand perception where we are right now towards something that is beyond where we are right now. Talking about Hero today, we are the commuter company. Our products stand for robustness, reliability, quality. These are attributes that you do need into rally racing, because it's a long battle, it's a long journey, it's the toughest, let me say, the toughest commute on earth. So being competitive in this scene will add additional attributes like technology, like performance, like competitiveness, professionalism, all this on an international level. Besides that, it helps us, it helps the engineers, it helps the CIT team to develop their skills. We have mechanics getting into the bike, we have body engineers, we have stylists really working on this high-end technology, and this will help enhancing our capabilities, our skills, as well as, I would say, putting so much emotion into the whole team, the whole company, which will offer us a new level of experiencing.
And it kind of moves the whole thing up. I mean, it takes the whole thing to a new level. When we last spent time together in Milan at the EICMA, or on the sidelines of the EICMA, we talked about this, and we talked about how specifically it is going to be this, let's say, aspect that's going to make the big difference next year. Because so far we've been hearing a lot about these plans, but eventually it is got to be about what comes to market, what consumers get to see and feel and buy. It is that next year that's going to be, let's say, busy from that perspective, isn't it?
Yes, no doubt. Next year, and actually next year for us starts from next week onwards, as you know as well, and we'll be really busy. But we always have to think of where we are, what is our strength, what is our market position, and not to forget that we have to focus on our actual portfolio as well. So it's not always to do the new thing, the nice thing. It's really to focus to our foundation, and from there onwards to have a stable basis. As we did say, we will move back into premium. And next year will, for us as a company, be, let's say, probably the premium year.
So Auto Expo, I mean, from a public perception is where it can all kicks off. In the past 2 Auto Expos, there's been a lot of focus about just, like a picture of where Hero could go or where it wants to go. And so there were lots of concepts, there was lots of plans and and some of it looked really ambitious. Do you think today we're in a position where it'll be more real than just plans? Is the next Auto Expo going to be that year?
No doubt, as a company.
Or you just have to do it, is what I mean. Now it's time you have to do it.
No, in the end, the company has to be, let's say, reliable in terms of what we say is what we do. What we think is what we say is what we do. And from this perspective, the last Auto Expo, I think, was already changing the way we approach it. Having the Xtreme 200 as a concept.
We're expecting the production bike now, you know that.
And I gave a promise.
Yeah, you did.
I gave a promise, and I do my very best to fulfill it. It looks good. I'm
happy to hear that, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. And with a design concept, the XF3R, as a company, we try out to explore, let's say, even beyond the actual premium. Because for us, being in a transition, we have to think of what is our future styling design. Look at the race bike. It should give, and this is not just about racing, a glimpse of in what direction we do think as a brand, bringing it, as you say, into mass production.
But tell me, one aspect of going premium is that, of course, it helps you to shore up margins and it makes you more profitable. But on the other hand, because the strength of the company comes from this massive volume, and it's exactly that space where all your competitors are going to keep attacking you always. In the Indian context, you got Honda, you got Bajaj. How do you keep that end of it intact while you're also shoring up and trying to make, let's say, a new presence felt at the premium end?
In the end, it's about putting lots of effort into our foundation and our basis. It means developing the product forward to keep it still attractive in terms of what the customer gets for the money, and keeping it attractive in terms of styling. So this is a strong focus we have on, no doubt. Beyond that, the premium segment gives us or brings us back opportunities, which we are really looking forward to.
But do you think there's an advantage where maybe with certain technologies or materials, or even ideas, even design ideas, the fact that you have such a large base, does it give you that, let's say, a little bit of freedom or a little bit of leeway, even with the premium products, to be able to broad base your costs, maybe something that other manufacturers cannot always do?
No doubt. We are operating in a quite impressive scale.
Yeah, for sure.
This gives us opportunities that other competitors don't have. On the other side, I would say Hero stands for, and I would like to see Hero stand for affordable technology. Affordability always will be something that we will focus at.
Global context, not just Indian context.
In the global context as well. Only put high cost into something what all the competition is doing, we have a huge advantage. We have the opportunity to cater to a segment that more or less is not existing. To make bike riding affordable and technology affordable, not just in India, is something that drives us in our complete lineup. And I think the X-Pulse concept gives a first glance what even will attract motorcycle riders outside India.
All right, so yeah, the X-Pulse, of course, is something else that we are expecting now as a production version, because what you showed in Milan was looking production ready to us in any case. Is that segment and segments like that likely to become more and more important, do you think, going forward, as the customer starts to demand a little bit more than just a regular commuter or just a regular bike?
This is what I'm fully convinced. As the market becomes international, the local domestic market, you have international styling bikes. So from this perspective, no doubt, the offer becomes wider and wider, so the customer can pick and choose. But it always has to be in line with affordability. If we do talk about mass mobilization, it has to go along with affordability. No doubt, this is a dream. Not affordable, but
it's not for everyone anyway.
Not for everyone anyway.
Now, so one last question, Markus, before I let you go. Going back to that point about affordability and then also the scale and the advantage it gives you, is it fair to then assume for us that going forward, because, okay, you'll also have new regulations and you'll also have maybe a more demanding consumer, but that notwithstanding, that's true for all your competitors. Is it fair to assume that going forward, a lot of your, even let's say, more basic products will have that advantage of being just a little more sophisticated, just having that little extra because of what you're doing at the premium end?
Definitely. And this is what gives the strength to Hero already today. Look at i3S. This is something that is really has changed the perception of the brand. Understand the customer and bring a technology that caters the customer demand on again an affordable level. This is what drives us to understand what brings delight or what adds a feature that the customer appreciates, but deliver this on an affordable level.
All right, so
this is what drives us, not just ultimate racing performance.
But that's very cool too. So
yeah, no doubt.
We're glad you're doing that too.
And for us, this is the huge thing that we have the opportunity to stick to our roots where we are that strong and to expand it up to this kind of international performance, technology, racing, and no doubt emotional level.
And so on that note, I'm going to say thank you, but I'm going to hold you to that promise then, the Extreme 200, the X-Pulse, and maybe a whole lot more at the Expo.
Yeah, and maybe here we do a clear cut.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, I will
You'll
run
be in trouble.
into big trouble promising too much. But
right,
we work hard on that.
I'm very excited by what you've told me already and look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.